Hello, this is Minnie from The Weekend Gardener, and today I have a really fun gardening project to do with the kids. And it all starts with Keurig. Now these Keurig cups are everywhere. You can find them in your office, you can even find them in your beauty salon. And most people throw them away, but they are excellent little container gardens for young gardeners. Now how do you use them? Well, first thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to poke a hole, a drainage hole, a small drainage hole, in this little container garden before your little young gardeners get out to the garden space to garden with you. Now, while you can poke a hole this way, it's more challenging and the cup will actually collapse upon itself. A trick to this though is to put a little water in it and freeze it. Then you can turn it upside down and poke the hole in your cup. The ice actually gives some resistance and holds the cup together. So just keep that in mind when you go to create your drainage hole. Now the next step of the process is to fill it with soil. And as you can see, I didn't fill it all the way up. Don't fill it all the way up because you're running a chance of, if you do water from the top, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. If you do water from the top, you're running a chance of your seed and soil running out the top. So make sure that you leave a little lip just like you would in a container garden. So you have your soil in here, you have your cup. Next step of the process is to plant your seed. But I do have a little cautionary tale. Some studies have been done and they have discovered that eating something that has been grown in plastic can be harmful. And the principle behind it is the plastic is heated up by the sun and chemicals are released into the soil and in turn taken up through the plant. So that is just a cautionary tale. And you think about when you go to the nursery or greenhouse, you see edibles being planted in plastic. But again, it's just a cautionary tale. So once you have your plant material planted in whatever seed you choose, just try to stay with small seeds since it's a small container garden. The next step of the process is watering. Now, as I stated earlier in the video about watering from the top, that is not really the best idea, and you're running a chance of overwatering. The best technique is to take your container, and I'm going to use this one with the hole, and you're going to sit it in a saucer of water. If the soil is dry, what will happen is through capillary action, water will be pulled up through the soil profile, in other words, up to the top. If the soil is wet, the soil is not going to take up any water, so you don't have to worry about overwatering. Once your soil is moist to the touch on the top, you can remove it and put it on the windowsill. So encourage those young gardeners, get those kids out and get them curious about the gardening hobby. So until we meet in the garden again, this has been Mindy from The Weekend Gardener.